Support WrestleTalk!
Hello and welcome to this special WrestleTalk Reacts video. I'm Ollie Davis. I'm joined by Laurie Blake because there has been some huge news coming out of AEW All Out. I'll have my review later on. I haven't even recorded it yet after watching all 5 hours, 15 matches of it, because this has taken priority.
Why would you save the best bit for when the show's not on, Oliver Davis? That's Tony Khan, what are you playing at?
Well, it's because...
Why is the biggest fight happening off screen?
Because it might be real.
Yes.
Or it's a work. Or it's a shoot work. Or it's a work shoot, much love, kiss kiss H.
Or it's a work. Or it's a work drinks. Or it's a drinks.
Shooty shoot.
Bang bang, kiss kiss.
Here's what happened. So, after the show, we had the post-media scrum. AEW always do these things. And first up was CM Punk. He just won the AEW title, the Undisputed title, off of Jon Moxley. And MJF had come out after the show. Spectacular angle to close the event. But then we get this. He's the first guest. And someone asks him, hey, you know, you used to be, how's things with Colt Cabana? Like, just straight in with the red rag to the bull. Punk says, you know, it's 2022. I haven't been friends with this guy since at least 2014. So, you know, for him, it's 7, 8 years ago.
Oh, it's like dragging up his first ex-girlfriend in front of his new girlfriend. All the time, people are doing this.
But there is, a reason to bring it up now, because apparently a lot of the backstage unrest that we've heard about over the last month has been because, the triggering event was Cabana was in danger of being released. A lot of people thought that was because of Punk in a prominent position and maybe forcing him out. Cabana was not released. Instead, he was moved to Ring of Honor.
Yep.
So Punk is addressing this, and he effectively goes on to say, I don't know the guy. He's not my problem. Stop blaming this on me. And then he kind of alludes that this was leaked by the EVPs, which is the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega. Cody Rhodes has departed, as a way to maybe undermine Punk. Here's what he goes on to say. The fact that I have to sit up here because we have irresponsible people who call themselves EVPs and couldn't effing manage a target, so I'm going to just say effing a lot to save the editors the job of beeping every time, because there's a lot of Fs. And they spread lies and bull S and put into a media that I got somebody fired when I have F all to do with him, want nothing to do with him, do not care where he works, where he doesn't work, where he eats, where he sleeps. And the fact that I have to get up here and do this in 2022 is effing embarrassing. And then he left it there, and that was it.
I think he's making a fair point. Fair cop. As long as he didn't actually get Colt Cabana fired. Which he didn't, because Colt Cabana's gone to move to Ring of Honor, right? So, it's all worked out in the end. I know people want to do the story, but you are poking someone who does not mince his words.
Fair cop being that they then sort of publicly targeted senior people in the company.
I don't know.
Well, he didn't leave
wrestling.
it there. He didn't actually leave it there. He kept on talking. What did I ever do in this world to deserve an empty-headed effing dumb F like Hangman Adam Page to go out on national television and effing go into business for himself? What did I ever do? Didn't do a goddamn thing. Remember, this was a question about Colt Cabana.
Yes.
And within 2 paragraphs, he's managed to, bury Colt Cabana.
Bury the heads of the company. And then dragged Hangman Page into it.
Because Punk, I love CM Punk, but man, does this guy hold a grudge.
Oh, yeah.
And this is about Hangman Page's promo from before Double or Nothing, where he just said one week that Punk isn't here, and he sort of called him out for being a part-timer. Punk did not take that well. That's why when he came back ahead of All Out, he just had that random line burying Adam Page in return.
Well, he called Adam Page out, but Adam Page wasn't scripted to come out, so Adam Page got to look like a coward because he couldn't break the continuity of the show and just go against what Tony Khan had told him to do, which was not be on screen.
So Punk continues.
Yeah.
It's not Tony Khan's position to make it very effing clear. There's people who call themselves EVPs that should have effing known better. So of course Hangman and the Bucks and Kenny backstage are super tight. At least that kayfabe story part is a work. So maybe they feel that like they're backing Page and Cabana in this. If I'm making a faction warfare rift in AEW.
Yeah, I think that might be the case. I think this is definitely like you've taken a shot at our guy and there was nothing he could do about it, so here's a little bit of something to wind Punk up.
Sean Ross Sapp has said, because Punk, is making this accusation that the EVPs have leaked the Cabana news to make him look bad. Sean Ross Sapp has said, hey, I was the guy that broke this story. I've never spoken to the Bucks and Omega.
Yeah.
From what I've heard from wrestlers who have done backstage politicking, though, you don't directly leak the story.
No.
You give the story to another wrestler to tell the
to
report.
somebody else.
So I don't know how much that clears things up.
I think it's all becoming a bit conspiracy theory now, though. It's all a little bit he said, she said, and a little bit like there's this wild thing about bringing Punk down, and it's coming from the top, man. It's coming from the top.
And you love it.
He's the champion.
But not Tony Khan.
Yeah, they're trying to bring me down by making me the champion. That's when you know you're paranoid.
Well, Punk continues.
Oh, good.
I'm trying to run a effing business, and when somebody who hasn't done a damn thing in this business jeopardizes the first $1 million house that this company has ever drawn off my back and goes on national television and does that, it's a disgrace to this industry, it's a disgrace to this company. We're far beyond apologies. I gave him an effing chance. It did not get handled, and you saw what I had to do, which is very regrettable, lowering myself to his effing level, but that's where we're at right now. And I will still walk up and down this hallway and say, if you have an effing problem with me, take it up with me. Let's effing go.
Goodness.
So, yeah, he really went hard on Hangman Page there. He does seem to be saying to Tony Khan there, you didn't handle this, or the EVPs didn't handle this, which meant I had to go out there 3 months after everyone had totally forgotten Hangman cut this promo.
And say something.
And say something nasty.
It's like when you get into an argument and you just drag up every single thing that's ever happened to you in the hopes that somehow it justifies what you've already said.
Yeah, so like a lot of this is... some people have been reporting over the last month or speculating, hey, stop blowing this AEW frustration thing out of proportion. It's being overblown, but... this makes it sound like there's some significant issues. So that last line, when Punk says, if you have a effing problem with me, take it up with me in the corridor, let's effing go. Here's our main event. It happened, apparently. So Sean Ross Sapp tweeted there's some big heat already on CM Punk from his comments at the AEW post-show scrum. A couple of talent were told that some very important names were pissed off and threatening to walk out of the company over this.
God.
So that's the EVPs.
Was it Malachi Black? Yes. I'll go.
Andrade. Fightful then added up, this is completely unconfirmed, but the word I'm getting is that there was something physical or some sort of skirmish with some members of the Elite and Punk and his trainer who's been on TV recently, Ace Steel. I've far from confirmed that or anything, but this is all over the place and very, very alleged right now.
Well, I imagine some harsh words, if they did see each other in the corridor, were at least shared in this situation. It feels very emotionally charged, because it's not like... This is not just, you made my character look bad. This is, like, the stuff with Hangman, it feels like it was kind of bringing up some things that I think Punk is still very, very sore over, clearly.
Yeah. But I also think Tony Khan has to shoulder some blame. I know Punk was saying, hey... This is not Tony Khan's thing. He went out of his way to say he loves AEW. It's just some of the wrestlers there he's got problems with. But this is a situation. We had another fight with Eddie Kingston and Sammy Guevara recently. People are unhappy, and a lot of people have said it's because there's a lack of communication, a lack of direction for their characters. Something's boiling over. It's so weird for Punk to use this one line from Hangman Page as such a lightning rod. I look at where this division is lying, and to me it's quite clearly you've got CM Punk, the ultimate ex-WWE guy, part of this new wave of all-out 2021 signings. And then you've got the OG people.
Yeah.
AEW originals, headed up by Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks. And it's kind of like this ideological clash for the heart of the company.
Yeah.
I feel.
It must feel very, very charged in a way that, like, at least with WWE, when Vince was in charge, you were just like, no, that's the person in charge.
Yeah.
And it does, and what I think doesn't matter.
Yeah, so Tony
There's a
Khan
simplicity to just being creatively bankrupt. Like,
yeah. And Tony Khan is caught in the middle of these two forces, and yeah, he's not dealt with it well. Anyway, so you can see a clip now of a security guard running out of the scrum while Swerve and Our Glory are doing their interview. And Wrestling Observer Radio have since said what that was for. Alvarez says, apparently there was an altercation after Punk left the press conference. He was obviously very mad, and we have multiple sources state that there was an altercation. I wasn't there, I don't know everything that happened, but many people said that there was an altercation with Punk and the Young Bucks. I don't know who else was there, but it happened and everybody knew about it, and a security guard did in fact go running out of the press conference. Apparently Tony Khan didn't know, because he had his phone off. He was doing the press conference. He only found out after.
Oh my God.
And then Meltzer said there was a melee, whatever that word means.
whatever that word means.
And
it was the Smash Bros. It was,
yeah. So you know the Smash Bros. franchise.
Yeah, I know the Smash Bros. It was the second of the games.
Fightful then said Young Bucks and Kenny Omega were, quote, extremely pissed off about Punk's comments, threatening to leave the company. The Elite were meant to be part of the scrum, but an adjustment was made. So because presumably
they chose not to, yeah.
And they just had a
Fight,
sounds
yeah.
like there's nothing that says
they all
physical.
sit down with black eyes. Yeah, no, we didn't have. No, this is from the match. From the match.
It sounds well. No one said there's anything physical.
No.
Altercation can mean verbal or physical, so we don't know. But yeah, you're Tony Khan. You've got to take leadership here. Something much lower down the card happened just a few weeks ago with Eddie and Sammy backstage.
Yes, yeah.
Eddie took a swing at Sammy. Apparently, that's the report. Eddie got suspended.
Yeah.
This sounds... If fists were thrown just by the company's own template, you've got to suspend someone.
Well, yeah, but who do you suspend?
Your champion or your trio's champions and EVPs of the company.
Yeah. At no point in the company's history have they needed to get things under control more than now, because WWE is actually looking like a legitimate competitor. People are happy there. For the first time in 10 years, people are happy within WWE. AEW were riding on the fact that they were the alternative, not just in terms of like what kind of programming they were putting up, because they were actually like a company that people wanted to work for because it was a nice space to work in. At the moment, these reports, obviously, like, as true, depends. They could not be true. They could be out there to kind of hurt the company.
It could be a work.
They could be a work. I think it's a misguided work if it's a work, because I think at this point in time you want to be appearing as if things are even better than they were before. So like if it's a work, it's a really bad idea, and if it's true, it needs to be handled as quickly as possible, because WWE doesn't have those stories necessarily anymore, and AEW were winning comfortably in terms of just PR by just not being WWE, and they are turning into a bickering thing backstage that is making them look like old WWE. And you could just win the PR battle by just being like, everything's fine.
Well,
we all get on. It's all good.
That's been the company line for like 2 months. Everything's fine.
No, but I mean, actually make it so that everything is fine. Like,
so you just mean just fix it?
Is
that your advice?
You have to fix it.
Just fix it.
But also, like the wrestlers.
I don't know how you fix this without someone leaving.
But the wrestlers have to know that you have to fix it as well. Like this is your business. And I know people like Kenny and CM Punk. CM Punk would never go back to WWE, I don't think. But like Kenny could walk out the door of AEW and sign up, start another promotion if he wanted to, or go sign up with WWE. Like there's plenty. There is now actually, unfortunately, the other options back on the table. There is somewhere else to work aside from AEW. Malachi Black, again, probably got involved in that. If there was an altercation, just comes in black masses a few people. Like, I'll leave, don't worry. But like, I think, this is such a critical moment for AEW to get this stuff under control. And you've got to, if you are playing with the barriers between reality and kayfabe, you've got to toe that line very carefully at this point.
Well, it is a crazy time, but don't worry, subscribe, because we'll have probably another news video later today. I'm sure more details will come out. And my All Out review feels like a secondary thing
Yeah,
now.
what rating do you give the backstage brawl?
I don't know yet. I don't know if it's over. But for now, I've been Ollie Davis. This has been Laurie Blake. Please hit the subscribe button. We got loads of news and stuff coming. And yeah, jam that jam.
Jam to jams.